What if we could teach the next generation to care for our planet while also encouraging everyone to be kinder, healthier, and happier? Local and federal governments should continue to enforce stricter animal abuse laws, like limiting exotic zoos that serve as breeding businesses or, at best, hoarding situations, while also providing more funding to organizations that try to prevent cruelty to animals. I've spent most of my life caring for all kinds of animals and have volunteered at multiple shelters in America for years. I'm sure many of you can agree when I say I love animals, since many of us have one or a few at home. Today, I'm going to talk about how bad animal abuse can be in America, how state and federal governments can continue enacting stricter laws and punishments, as well as fund organizations like the SPCA of Texas to help this cause, and how the gift of saving an animal's life can create a better life for everyone involved. Here's something to think about. Animal abuse affects more than just the animals. In a study done by the Humane Society, 71% of domestic violence victims reported that their abuser also targeted their pets. Many other studies, as well as the FBI, have concluded that violence towards animals increases the likelihood of violence towards other humans. Even after a report is made for domestic violence and the victim is separated and relocated from the abuser, the animal is usually always still located at the original location with the abuser and is then more likely to be abused. A 2003 study done by the National Link Coalition found that households with animal abuse are 5 times more likely to also sexually abuse their children. Now, this is a snowball issue, or an issue that snowballs, since the child can then abuse animals since they are seeing their abuser, who's most likely someone that they look up to or a family member, abuse animals and copy them, and they will also abuse animals or other people to get their frustration out or as a scapegoat. Fortunately, we are seeing a trend of policies starting to be talked about in our government, both at the local and federal levels. In recent years, steps have been made at the federal level to combat animal cruelty. We now just need to start enforcing them at a state level. According to NPR, the Preventing Cruelty and Torture Act, or PACT, is a bipartisan initiative that bans any intentional serious harm to animals. This law was just signed last year, and the penalty is a fine from $10,000 up to $100,000 and up to 7 years in federal prison. Now, considering how animal rights have been a thing for over 30 years and how animals have actually had more rights and protections than children in history, it's about time we're seeing animal abuse at a federal level, or laws at a federal level. According to the Animal Legal Defense Fund, since animal abuse is a predictor of domestic abuse, violence towards animals needs to be taken seriously. So as I mentioned before, animal abuse can kind of tell if also other kind of abuse is happening in a family. So those who abuse animals are more likely to abuse their spouses and children, and punishing those who abuse animals and or providing programs to help rehabilitate them can help stop them from abusing, and which in turn would help lower overall domestic violence and animal abuse. With the rise of attention that animal abuse gets, we can help both humans and animals overcome these terrible situations by providing a means to help each other. Adopting from a shelter and teaching kids to care for animals can break the cycle of abuse. According to Teach Heart, humane education fosters compassion and respect for all living things. Teaching this to children at a young age could also lower the possibilities of abuse towards other animals and therefore less abuse with other humans. It would also help kids and also adults today realize and learn that lessening our impact on the environment also will help animals that are in the wild and also that are domesticated be able to survive and thrive on our planet. Also, adopting from shelters saves countless lives. While some shelters do have overcrowding policies that allow them to euthanize animals, adopting from them literally saves an animal's life. So in these shelters where there's overcrowding or with animals that are considered dangerous like pit bulls, they will euthanize in order to free up room. So adopting from these shelters can basically not only save the animal's life who you're adopting, but also free up a spot for another animal that might need it more because they have a less chance of being adopted. So, to wrap it up, animal abuse is affecting more than just animals. A lot of domestic abuse stems from animal abuse and vice versa. While states and federal government have recently stepped up to enact laws and increase punishments, more enforcement and attention needs to happen at a state level. The best thing we can do to spread awareness and teach kids that lives matter no matter what life it is. The US government also needs to continue to enforce these stricter animal abuse laws and provide more funding to organizations that help animals in need, while also creating programs to help rehabilitate those who are abusing. The easiest thing you can do to help is donate $10 to a local non-kill shelter or even volunteer at one. I volunteer at the SPCA of Texas in McKinney at least once a week and also donate $5 a week. So, instead of buying that coffee at Starbucks, donate that money to a local shelter. Try to donate to a local non-kill shelter. That's going to help the most. But also, if you're on the market, adopting from a kill shelter would definitely help, or even fostering or just volunteering at one. So just remember, teaching kids today about caring for animals can make tomorrow a better place for everyone. Thank you.